Hello, and welcome to Narrative Tales, where I take my sessions from our favorite dice rolling game and turn it into the story that we're trying to tell. So if you don't have time to sit down and listen to a long actual play session, or you simply want to hear a nice story, sit down and listen to this episode of Narrative Tales. In the last session, the party attended the ball and watched as one of the patrons, or the partygoers, were slain by a man in a dark suit. His entourage put to sleep the guards that were protecting the party and watching over it. After dealing with all of them, they tied up the one that assassinated the partygoer. After questioning him, they offered him a deal to get him out of it and to reclaim the reward he was promised upon the completion of the mission. This is where we met Reuven. With the well of information dry at the moment, in hopes that Reuven will return as he stated, the party chooses to pause their investigation into the Crimson Blades for the time being, and work on some of the other tasks they were presented with. I think while we wait for Reuven to come back from whatever he's doing, we go see that farmer. You think he's coming back? Told you it was a bad idea. Drock sucks his teeth at this comment. I don't think it's too far out of town. We can probably make it back by nightfall. The party begins making their way out of town, stopping by the Shadowfist compound to ask for directions. After some riding to their destination, they come upon a farmhouse just as described by Lydia. The small, quaint farmhouse sits beyond a long pathway in this quiet part of the countryside. They travel up the long pathway to the front door. Drock knocks on the door. Footsteps on a wooden floor can be heard coming up to the door to greet the company. A man with a long beard opens the door and greets them. Yes, what can I help you with? We hear you're having some issues with some of your farm animals disappearing and being found mutilated. Yes, a few months ago my farm was attacked by wolves and much of my farm was slaughtered. You can see where the empty pens are over there. Luckily, my son was able to get rid of the wolves, but not before much of the farm had been ravaged. He went off with another adventuring party doing some important things, but he has consistently sent us coin to rebuild and survive. I was able to have a large part of the land fenced in, and we brought cows in. A woman with a small but noticeable limp makes her way up to the doorway beside the man. What's going on? This is my wife. She was bitten when the wolves attacked. She's mostly recovered, but she still has days she can't work like she once could. The party looks to see the woman with her ankle wrapped. He looks to her and he says, "These people are here to find out what's going on with their livestock. They think they can help." Oh, good. Could you show us where we could start looking? Unfortunately, it's hard for me to get out and down that far in the pasture because I need to stay close to my wife. I'm sorry. Sure. If you can just point us in the right direction, that'd be much appreciated, as well as any other information you may be able to give to us. Yeah. It's just down on the far end of the pasture, near the wood line. There's probably still one of the carcasses down there that was attacked from a week or so ago. Should be easy enough to find. There's not much more information to give, really. Sometimes I find a mutilated carcass. Sometimes there's just a missing cow from the herd. Happens fairly often around the same amount of time between each occurrence, but not always. Alright. We'll see if we can find out what's going on and deal with it for you. Thank you. Best of luck to you, adventurers. The party sets off into the pasture, walking across this large fenced-in pasture to the opposite end. Reaching the wood line, they quickly find the aforementioned carcass of the mutilated cow. They begin looking at the details of the carcass. Whatever it was that attacked had to have been something large and powerful. It's been sitting for a while, so some of the evidence is tarnished by the decomposition. This doesn't take away from the evident mess that whatever attacked this animal was capable of. Large sweeping claw marks, deep bites, gore and viscera spread around the area. Entire parts missing. This is beyond your run-of-the-mill mountain lion or wolf. Something much larger. Something much more brutal. Albus notices an old dried-up blood trail. Whatever it took with it continued to drip as it took its prize back with it. This way. The party climbs over the outer fence and ventures into the woods. This is not a heavily dense forest. The trees are spread evenly, and there's a layer of old leaves lining the ground. The path forward continues up a slow rolling incline. The party treks on for well into the 2-hour mark, and then off into the distance. A small cabin, or more like a shantily thrown together shack with a chimney, comes into view in the distance. With the blood trail slowly dying, the The party cautiously approaches closer. Upon getting about 100 yards from the cabin, a gravelly voice rings out from the distance. "Do not come any closer. You are not welcome." It's unclear where the voice comes from other than the near cabin. "We're just here to investigate some attacks on a farmer's cattle. We followed a blood trail here. We mean no harm." "Well, I know nothing of what you speak. You can turn around." "May we just have a word with you?" "You have our word. We won't hurt you unless you attempt to harm us." A thin, scraggly man with a long, unkempt beard steps out from behind a large tree. He's wearing tattered and dirty clothes and wields a spear. "We can talk, but do not come any closer." "Can we look around a bit? Maybe just take a quick look into your abode?" "No. You can talk to me, and then you can leave." Albus, sensing the aggression, tries to de-escalate the situation. "I'm going to give my friend here my weapons. As you can see, I'm no threat to you. Can I approach?" The man does not reply, but he gives an acknowledging nod. Albus approaches. "Don't try anything funny." "I won't. Just let us take a look in your home, and we'll be out of your hair." "You cannot go into my home." "Why? If you're not hiding anything, you have nothing to worry about." "You will not come into my home." Drock begins making an attempt to sneak around a flank, but the man quickly catches on. "If you take one more step closer, I will end him." "Listen, you don't have to be scared." The man cuts him off. "Do you think I'm scared?" "I'm not scared of any of you." Albus turns to give the rest of the party a questioning look before turning back around. "Just let us look in the house, it couldn't hurt." The man, tired of talking at this point, drops the spear to the ground. The hair on his skin begins to lengthen and thicken. You can hear bones snapping, and his body begins to contort. His jaw begins to become more canine, and his entire body grows to a size that towers over Albus. "You need to leave." The now transformed creature's voice turns into a deep, unsettling resonance. It takes 2 quick swipes at Albus, knocking him to the ground. It stands there, breathing deeply and angrily with a seething rage. Albus quickly stands to his feet and lets loose a spell. A cone of fire hits the transformed creature. The rest of the party has already jumped into action, quickly sprinting to defend their friend. The creature, being burned slightly, lets out a yip, and out of desperation snaps at Albus, biting him. It takes another 2 swipes at Albus, only hitting him once, but Albus is able to stay on his feet this time. Phelis swings his flail at the creature, finding purchase on the creature's back, dealing a heavy blow, but while it does hurt the creature, it doesn't do as much as he would think. Drock swings his greatsword, but is unable to hit it. The struggle continues on for a short time, with each party member and the creature trading blows, the creature's resilience withstanding the brutal assault from the party. Eventually, the party gains the upper hand and Drock is able to land a fatal blow across its abdomen. Guts spill from the wound, and the creature's knees buckle. Drock kicks it over, and the creature slowly transforms back into its human form. Drock stands over the body, beaten and breathing heavily, visibly exhausted, but successful nonetheless. "Daddy? Daddy?" The entire party looks up to see a small child standing near the open doorway of the cabin. An arm quickly snatches the girl, dragging her back into the cabin. The party looks at each other, filled with conflicting emotion and unsure of what is to come next. They slowly make their way over to the front door, and Drock knocks. No answer. Drock knocks again. Again, there is no answer. "Phelis, can you take the door down?" "Easy enough." Phelis rears back and kicks the door. The wood splinters vertically, and the entire door is wrenched from the hinges. It falls a few feet inward. The place is a cozy little cabin with a small wooden dining table, a single rough-looking mattress, and a cobbled-together fireplace. A woman, protectively embracing the small girl with her hand over the girl's mouth, sits huddled, cowering in the corner. Tears stream down the woman's face as she looks to be both seething with rage and fear. "What have you done? He was just protecting us." "We weren't here to hurt anyone. He attacked us." "How is he supposed to know that? People with his condition are hunted like game. How is he supposed to trust anyone? You provoked him." "What he was doing was not okay. Those cattle were somebody's livelihood." "I don't even know exactly what you're talking about. He brought food home. Sometimes it was animals in the forest, sometimes it was from other places. We didn't ask questions. He was mutilating a farmer's animals. You can't do that. Have you not figured out yet that we moved out here to get away from people? We moved so far out into the forest to protect other people. The little girl escapes her mother's grasp for a moment. My daddy would go out into the woods at night sometimes and fight the monster in the woods. That's what he told me. Is there a monster in the woods? What's the monster? The big wolf. He had to go fight it and keep us safe. Ma'am, he attacked us first. All we wanted to do was figure out what was going on. What did you expect? You came out in the middle of nowhere, started questioning him. He told you to leave multiple times and you refused. You didn't try to come to any resolution other than the one you wanted, and you escalated the situation. He was protecting us. I understand, but we were sent here to investigate, and your husband was doing something illegal. Would you prefer it to be people? Is that what you want? We moved out here to get away from people, to protect them. People with his condition can't always control themselves. He was protecting other people. Don't you see that? Does she have the same condition? No, she's normal. Well, I will make sure you are taken care of. I know a place. She cuts him off. I'm not going anywhere with you. I'm not going to hurt you. I just want to send you to an old friend of mine. He will look after you. I suppose at this point, if you're going to do away with us, what more could you take away? Leading the family outside, Drock whistles. A few moments pass before Drock's horse comes trotting up to him. Take them to Artemis. Keep them safe. The horse gives an acknowledging huff before taking off into the distance. The party begins making their way out of the forest, across the pasture, and back to the farmhouse. Drock knocks on the door once again, and the man comes to the door. Back so soon? What'd you figure out? It was a pretty big wolf. It's taken care of now. You won't have any more problems. That's great, thank you very much. The party heads back to Chloria, the trip mostly silent. They go see Lydia. The farmer won't have any more trouble. Oh yeah? What was it? A werewolf. They moved out there to get away from people. What do you mean, they? He had a family. What happened? We tried to talk to him, but he wouldn't work with us. Then he attacked Albus. We killed him. That's when his daughter walked out. Oh no. Things like that happen. You can't control it. Yeah. Did you do the right thing, though? I don't know, Lydia. I don't know. Well, here's the payment. You should go relax somewhere. The party makes their way back to the tavern, they always do. But this time Drock sits alone at the bar in silence. Everyone fills themselves with drinks, hoping to forget the day.